And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, May 11th edition. Hope everybody had a great Monday, a little wild one out there. If you didn't know the Reds, too bad. That's pretty much how I went there. The big pitchers, the big three we talked about, they all did their thing. That didn't kill you. It was all about having the Reds, sneaking in some maybe D-backs or some Orioles or something, but that was the gist of it maybe some Angels too, on a Monday. But I got 12 games for you coming up this Tuesday. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at BDintric. If you'd like to join the Fantasy DJ Slack chat, it is free. Come join us in there. Lots of fun, lots of good conversation, lots of green screens. So come enjoy the fun there. Also, if you'd like to rate and review the podcast, MLB DFS Quick Hits, I would truly appreciate it. Later on Tuesday night, we'll be recording with Batflip Crazy Toby with our Bubba and the Batflip, episode 83, another episode of Bench with Bubba. So come check that out if you're looking for some season-long fantasy baseball advice. Also, if you'd like to watch the podcast instead of listen to it on your podcast platform, go to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Check out all that good stuff. Subscribe and enjoy. All right, 12-game slate on this evening. We got some of the totals, not all of them yet. Phillies, Nationals, 9. Orioles, Mets, 7. Royals, Tigers, 7.5. Yankees, Rays, 8. A's, Red Sox, 9. Cardinals, Brewers, 7.5. Angels, Astros, 8. Twins, Red Sox, 8. Marlins, D-backs, 8. The only weather to really look at so far, Baltimore and the Mets, wind blowing in from left field about 12 miles an hour. Oakland, Boston, blowing out to right field about 12 miles an hour. Toronto, Atlanta, very light to no rain to start the game, but it picks up as the evening goes on. And then San Diego, Colorado, raining all day again on Tuesday, but then calms down as the evening goes on. So keep an eye on all that fun stuff as well. All right, 12 games on tap. We got a doozy. Pitching-wise, you got John Means at 10-3 at the New York Mets. I'm going to pass. I like John Means coming off the no-no. Congratulations. A, I don't play guys off of no-nos. B, I'm not paying that price tag with some other options on the slate. Just not happening for me tonight. Like you got Walker Buehler at $9,800, $500 cheaper. Buehler's been outstanding, 6 or more innings pitched in every start, 2 innings or 2 earned runs or less in all but one start this season. He's given up a lot of home runs, at least one homer in each start except one. But the Ks have been there over 8 Ks in each of his last 3 games. He's put up 19 or more points in each of those last 3 games. He has 19 or more points in 4 of 6 starts this season. $9,800 against the Seattle Mariners team that we can definitely target again coming off the no-no against Mean, striking out over 25.5% of the time versus right-handed pitching with a 152 ISO and a 94 WRC+. So Buehler at 98 checks the box as a top option on the slate if you're paying up. Another guy, Freddie Peralta at 94 at the St. Louis Cardinals. Peralta's coming off a rough one at Philadelphia's last time out. But prior to that, dealt against the Dodgers. He's very, very hot and cold. So GPP much more so than cash. But he's going up against the St. Louis Cardinals offense that strikes out almost 24% of the time versus righties with a 162 ISO and an 89 WRC+. So overall, not a great offense. Does have some pop versus righties, but a lot of strikeouts. So a guy like Peralta at GPP, you could definitely go there. I prefer Buehler more than Peralta, especially in cash, but Peralta's got that GPP appeal that you're looking for. We got Madison Bumgarner at $8,700 at home against the Miami Marlins. Bumgarner coming off 3 straight just outstanding starts. Gets this Miami team that he just dealt against last week in Miami, and now gets him at home where he should feel more comfortable, you'd think. Miami striking out over 25% of the time versus lefties with a 245 average, 173 ISO, 102 WRC+. So a decent overall offense, average overall offense versus left-handed pitching. But Mad Bum at 87 checks the box as an intriguing GPP play in that matchup. Pablo Lopez are just, every time he's out there, cash game viable SP2. He's $8,200. He's steady Eddie, 5 or more innings in pretty much every start except one this season. He gets 6 or more Ks in all but 2 starts this season. He gets you 15 or more points in pretty much every start this season. He's a 2.04 ERA. He's been absolutely outstanding. Goes up against his D-backs team, striking out over 20% of the time, almost 21% of the time against right-handed pitching. They have a 229 ISO versus righties. Actually, this is versus lefties. I thought the ISO stood out like, no. Thank you, Patrick Corbin. Thank you for that one. But let's go to the right-handed situation here. It's more like a 23.5% K rate versus righties, a 145 ISO, and an 88 WRC+. So Pablo Lopez in a good spot here at $8,200, especially in cash. Might not have the GPP stealing you're looking for, but in cash, definitely comes to play for you in that one. Chris Bassett, Jordan Montgomery, both GPP viable in their matchups versus Boston and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay striking out over 30% of the time versus lefties. They do have some pop versus lefties, but a lot of swing and miss. So keep that in mind. And then Chris Bassett striking out guys like crazy of late. In his last few starts, he's gone at least 6 innings in 4 straight starts. He's got 7 or more Ks in 4 straight starts, 20 or more DK points in 4 straight starts. It is a Boston team that Jorge Lopez shut down on Monday, which was outstanding. But striking out 23.5% of the time versus righties, lots of pop as you'd expect. So it's a GPP only play with Bassett, but he'll virtually go unowned, which makes him interesting. Jomo might be a little more popular just because of the Yankees and whatnot. But Bassett at 8K, Jomo at 79, both GPP plays. I prefer Bassett over Montgomery for the ceiling. But if you're going by matchup alone, Jomo at 79 is your guy. You got Robbie Ray at 78 against Atlanta. Robbie Ray coming off 3 straight starts where he's gone at least 6 innings and has 0 walks and 9, 5, and 9 Ks in that run. Been absolutely outstanding. Over 20 DK points in every single one of those last 3 starts. He goes up against an Atlanta team, which he dealt against 3 starts ago for over 20 DK points. They're striking out over 27% of the time versus left-handed pitching with a .181 average, a 129 ISO, and a 55 WRC plus. Atlanta has been putrid versus left-handed pitching this season. Does that mean that Robbie Ray is going to deal? No, anything can happen because it's baseball. Ask, the Cincinnati Reds on Monday, who was one of the worst offenses in all baseball all of last week. But I like Robbie Ray quite a bit in GPPs at $7,800. If you want to get weird, you can definitely get weird with some Robbie Ray against this Atlanta offense. So keep an eye on that. Shohei Ohtani, $7,400 at the Houston Astros. Again, big slate, lots of pitchers to talk about tonight. Shohei Ohtani, $7,400 at the Houston Astros, an Astros team that we like. We stacked them on Monday, striking out less than 20% of the time versus righties. That didn't stop stuff from happening on Monday. 250 average, 114 WRC plus. Ohtani is a different beast at $7,400. The risk is there. He might only go 4 or 5 innings. He might walk too many guys. At the same time, the ceiling that Ohtani brings at $7,400 is outstanding. So that's what makes him a good GPP play in that price point. Other GPP targets down here, Dylan Cease is in play, and then Brady Singer at 57. I'm going to keep going back to that. Well, against Detroit, we've seen Singer be good. We've seen him be bad, but when he's good, he's very, very good. He provides a ceiling that most guys in this price range do not provide, which is great to see. And he faces the Detroit team, striking out 28% of the time versus righties with an 88 WRC plus. So Singer at $5,700. I'll go way back to that well and have some fun there. Recapping your pitching on a Tuesday. Buehler at 98. He's the top price guy that you're going after. You go after Peralta and GPPs if you want to. Buehler, cash, GPP, both. You got them both. You got Mad Bum at 87. You got Pablo Lopez at 82. I like Lopez a lot more in cash than GPPs. Bumgarner more in GPPs than cash. So you got that in that price range. You got Bassett, Montgomery, Ray at 78, 79, 8,000. Bassett and Ray both have very, very high GPP ceilings for me. I like both of those a lot. Montgomery's in play for making a lot of lineups, but Bassett and Ray, really good looks there at 78 and 8,000. You got Shohei Ohtani at 74 in tournaments. Dylan Cease at 7,000. The Ohtani ceiling is huge, so keep that in mind. But the floor is sketch. Cease has been great his last few outings. Minnesota's a challenging team, but you could go Cease if you want to. And then last but not least, Brady Singer at 57 is a supreme GPP target value-wise in this one. So lots of ways to build your lineups. Kind of watch the lineups that come out to see if there's anybody gets a benefit from that. But you have 24 pitchers on the slate. I got about 9 or 10 that I can definitely utilize in their lineups. If you're building cash, it's probably Buehler and Lopez. It's kind of where I go. If you're building a cash lineup, those would be my kind of 2 cash game pitchers, and it still leaves you lots of money to buy bats. So you can go that route. But if you're going to get weird in a GPP, Bassett, Ray, Ohtani, Singer, I like that a lot. If you want to go Buehler and Singer and get all the bats, you can go that route too. So lots of ways to mix and match based on what you're looking for in your lineups. All right, the bats on this 12-game slate. Catcher's position, there's trust me, if I miss somebody you need, Fantasy DJ in the Slack chat. Come ask me in there because there's going to be a lot of guys on this slate that are going to be in play because there's a lot of good offenses in play. Like Realmuto at 51. Don't really like paying up for catchers. Great spot there. Dom Nunez versus Lamet at 5K. I'd probably pay for Realmuto at 51, to be honest. So that's the kind of differentiation you can do there. Salvi Perez versus Boyd. I love the Royals tonight. Love the Royals tonight versus Matt Boyd. So Salvi Perez at 45 is somewhere I'll be planting my flag if I'm paying up. At the position, Young Gomes at 41 if you want to save some cash like that versus Chase Anderson quite a bit. Mike Zunino, if you're not using Jomo, Zunino at 38. We know he likes to strike out a lot, doesn't hit for average, but it's for a lot of power. So Zunino at 38 is a very good GPP catcher if you're looking for that mid-priced range type option. A few others to look at potentially. Not many more. Like Maldonado, I'm not going against Ohtani. That's for darn sure. Danny Jansen at 26 versus Bryce Wilson. That would be a good value as well. First base, you got the likes of Gurriel, not against Ohtani, but Hosmer's only 5K in Coors for Cincinnati. There's a lot of very affordable Padres tonight. So keep that in mind when you're building your lineups. But Hosmer at 5K, you can get on board with that. Jesus Aguilar went deep on Monday. He's 46 versus Bumgarner if you're going that fade train there. Carlos Santana, 44 for your Royal stacks. But there's some good GPP options here. Matt Olson is hitting for a bad average of late, but that power is legit. He's 41 versus Eovaldi. Don't mind that in a tournament. Garrett Cooper's 38 versus Bumgarner. Jared Walsh went deep on Monday. He's 38 in a GPP versus McCullers. So there's some nice mid-price GPP type options at first base. Josh Bell's only 36 versus Anderson. He's got some cash game appeal even at that price. Mitch Moreland in a GPP at 35 versus Eovaldi. I think the A's are an intriguing GPP lineup against Eovaldi. I like Eovaldi quite a bit on the season, but we know he doesn't go deep into games. And if he gets shelled, like we saw his last start, he was pitching great against Detroit, and then like the fifth inning, boom goes the dynamite. We've seen that many times with Eovaldi. So Moreland at 35 could be an intriguing option for you there. Mountcastle's 31. Not sure I want to fade Stroman, but I get it if you want to go there. The other guys I'll mention, Matt Adams is only 26 in Coors because CJ Cron's on the IL. So if he's in the lineup, he's 26, or Connor Joe's 23. Those are the two guys that have been rotating at first base for Colorado, Adams and Joe, 26 and 23 in Coors Field. Second base, you got Altuve at 55. I just don't really want to fade Ohtani, but if he goes only 4 innings or something, you get a lot of that Angels bullpen at very low ownership of the Astros. So something to keep in mind. But like Whit Merrifield at 53, you want to talk BVP. I don't talk about it that much anymore, but some of it's relevant. He is hitting 490 over like 50-something at bats against Boyd. He owns Matt Boyd. So Whit Merrifield at $5,300, like him quite a bit. If you're stacking up Toronto, which you very well could be, Simeon's 5,000 versus Bryce Wilson. So big fan of that situation as well. Toronto's a nice stack to keep riding those hot bats in that one. A few others like Garrett Hampson and Coors 45, always worth a talk. But like I told you, the Padres are too cheap. Jake Cronenworth's 4,400 versus Sensatella. That is crazy cheap in Coors Field. So I can definitely get on that train. If you're stacking Philadelphia versus Fede, Gene Segura is only 4,300. Not too bad there. Josh Harrison in a Washington stack, which I like a Washington stack quite a bit, is 36 versus Chase Anderson. So he's another guy you can take a peek at. Other than that, like Willie Castro, if you're not using Singer, if you're looking for some value against Singer, Willie Castro is 33, Johnny VR is 33 versus John Means. Both could be values. Mike Brosu at 31 versus Montgomery as a GPP play. So there's a few cheaper GPP type targets down here at second base, but preferably I'm sticking like, Gene Segura up, Josh Harrison up. I mean, like something around that range. Love me some Whit Merrifield. Like I want Whit Merrifield in cash and tournaments. So just cash especially. Tournament stacks, cash especially. Third base positions, you can always look at Devers if you want to let everybody down. Justin Turner versus lefties in play, but that Dodgers offense is really bad. And Kikuchi, he's hit and miss. It's very, very tough to run and to attack that one. But you can save some money. Like Machado's 53 if you want to pay up in Coors. I get that. That's fine. But if you want to go below 5K, you want Moncada at 46 versus Maeda. If you hope that one slows down, Kyle Seager at 44 in a tournament versus Buehler. Mentioned Buehler's going to at least one home run in every one but one start this season. Seager loves just hitting anybody and surprising people. You got Austin Riley at 4,200 against Robbie Ray if you think Ray stumbles. If you're not using Singer, I love Candelario at 41. I think that's a great value, especially in cash. If you're not using Singer, Candelario is a decent cash play. But third base outfit eligible, I mentioned Whit Merrifield's BVP. Hunter Dozier's 10 for 24 with I think 2 or 3 home runs off of Matt Boyd. He's 3,800 tonight. If you've listened to the show long enough, you know how much I like Hunter Dozier. You don't have to like twist my arm anymore. Like I'm going to play all the Hunter Dozier on Tuesday. So jump on board if you feel like having some fun. Brian Anderson's 39, but give me Dozier at 38. Below that, if you're stacking Toronto and you want some value, Kevin Biggio's 34, Alec Baum's 33 versus Fede. I mentioned Johnny VR already at 33, Brosu at 31. The Baum, he's been struggling tremendously, especially against right-handed pitching. But if he sneaks in there in a stack for affordable $3,300, a Philly stack, I'm cool with that. I wouldn't be looking to like force him in though. If somehow Josh Fuentes is playing for Colorado, he's 26 in Coors Field. So keep him on your radar. Hansel Alberto's 26 as well. He loves hitting lefties, so he might get a crack in that Royals lineup on Tuesday. A very, very affordable piece. Shortstop, you got Tatis and Coors at 59. The Padres are cheaper today than they were on Monday, and the game got rained out. That's good stuff, DK. So Tatis at 59. You got Bassett at 55. Bassett swinging it really, really well as well. Jorge Polanco's kind of heating up. He's 5,200 if you're stacking Minnesota versus Cease. I don't hate that. I'm not running to play it. Gleyber Torres went deep on Sunday. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. All 7 pounds, 8 ounces of you. Gleyber Torres, $4,600 versus Patino and that Rays bullpen. It's just tough to stack against that team. But Josh Rojas, if you're not using Pablo Lopez, outfield shortstop eligible at 44. Nico Goodrum at 42. So we got some guys down here in the 4K range that aren't too shabby. The low guy I kind of like here, Didi Gregorius, only 20 or 3,800 versus Fetty. That stands out as a very nice value. Or Willie Adames at 31 versus Jomo. Adames coming off a home run on Sunday. He's very, very hit and miss, but he's at least getting 2 or 3 points in every start, let alone double digits from time to time. He's 3,100, hits lefties very well. So don't completely sleep on him if you're looking to punt. Don't run to play him. Don't play him in cash. But at 31, he has some upside for you for sure. Outfield position, we will definitely miss some guys here because there's just too many to talk about all at once. But, Acuna, always a good look from time to time. But Bryce Harper at 57 versus Fede, like that a ton. You got Juan Soto versus Anderson at 53. So Soto versus Anderson in the same ballpark, like that a lot. Arozarena at 52 versus Jomo is intriguing. Jordan Alvarez is hitting everybody, so don't completely sleep on him. But Blackman and Coors is $4,800. That's pretty darn nice. You got Randall Grichik, who's on fire at 44. I mentioned Josh Rojas already. McCutcheon swinging at Grady's 43, so you don't have to pay up as usual because there's value, and we're going to get to even more value in the outfield, which is crazy. But like Trent Grisham, I already mentioned Cronenworth at 44. Trent Grisham leads off for the Padres in Coors Field. He's $4,300. That is just completely asinine. You got Tapia leading off at 42. Will Myers at 42. So Coors is way too affordable. Way too affordable on this slate. And that sucks. Austin Meadows is a good tournament play. Lefty against Jomo at 42. Going farther down the page here now, you got the likes of Teoscar at 39. I like Grichik more, but he gets to save some cash that way. Pavin Smith had a big Monday. He's 39 versus Lopez. Mentioned Garrett Cooper already. Mark Conant at 38 if you're fading Eovaldi. That's a nice value. Mentioned Hunter Dozier at 38. Love that. Jared Walsh is a very good GPP play at 38. Kyle Schwarber at 37. Nice piece for Washington stack. It's like he's 37 and Bell's 36, which makes paying for Soto and Turner very affordable. So I like that quite a bit in their situation. If Profar cacks the San Diego lineup, he's 37. If you're not using Cease, Max Kepler's only 36, which is a nice value for Mr. Kepler. Margot's 35. He's struggling a ton, but he's had some decent success in a very small sample versus Jomo. So he's 35. Low Kane's 34 versus lefty Kim. I like Milwaukee as a value stack on your Tuesday night. A few others to take a peek at here. You got Robbie Grossman at 33 if you're not using Singer. Kyle Tucker's 33 as well. Yadiel Hernandez, if he somehow cracks a decent spot in the Washington lineup, he's 3,200. We love Yadiel, but he's getting hosed on the lineup stuff right now. Tommy Pham's been leading off for San Diego or hitting second, fight somewhere up there with Grisham. Pham's only 31 on DK in Coors Field. So, yeah, that's happening. Avisel Garcia is 2,900 versus Kim. Avi's swinging it extremely well. Even hit a home run over the weekend, which is good to see from Avi. So he's 29. Nice value. But a few other values like Harrison Bader's 28 if you want to get really weird. Not really going there versus Peralta, but it's in play. You got the likes of, where's the one I saw earlier? Jonathan Daza has been playing a lot for Colorado. He's only 25 versus Dinelson Lamet. Justin Upton, he's had a couple home runs off McCullers. He went deep on Monday. He's 25 in a GPP. Kyle Garlick's 24. He's interesting. Yet Trevor Larnach, who's been hitting fifth for the Twins, he's $2,000. And there's going to be even more value in all positions, especially the outfield, once we get lineups. Recapping your pitching on this 12-game slate. You got Buehler at 98. That's phenomenal. You can't go wrong there with Buehler. Really good play. Not a must play, though. You don't have to pay up for him on the slate for me, just because his ceiling's capped when they keep him around 90 to 95 pitches in 6 innings. That's the bummer, but the floor is outstanding. You got the likes of Peralta in a GPP, like that quite a bit. Bumgarner and Lopez in the 8K range, like Lopez and Cash is your Cash SP2. Bassett, Montgomery, Ray are very, very intriguing GPP plays, especially Ray and Bassett, like those quite a bit in tournaments. Ohtani's a nice tournament play at 74. Just pray he's not walking everybody. If he doesn't walk that many, he's going to have a big, big night. but he's a tournament only play at 74. You got Dylan Cease at 7,000 for a value, and love Brady Singer at 57 for a value if you need that. Stacking it up on this slate, Washington and Philly are both in play. I like Washington quite a bit, though. I mentioned the Bell Schwarber affordable sides to go with Soto and company. Josh Harrison's there. I like that quite a bit. You could go Oakland versus Eovaldi. That's got a little bit of an appeal to it. The more I dug in, Kansas City versus Detroit. Love Kansas City. That's one of my favorite stacks tonight, if not my favorite stack tonight. Toronto versus Atlanta. Like Toronto quite a bit. Just keep riding those hot bats. Milwaukee's a very, very affordable, price-friendly stack, so I like that quite a bit as well. You got Coors Field in play. San Diego's way too cheap. So go back to that one. So 5 or 6 stacks I really like. We've got a handful of pitchers I really like. If you got any other questions, I'm on Twitter at BDentric. Come join the free Fantasy DGen Slack chat to get all the goodies you need there. If you can give a rate and review to the MLB DFS Quick Hits podcast on iTunes, would much appreciate it. We've got Bench with Bubba coming out for you on Tuesday night. If you're playing some PGA DFS golf, the always pressing PGA DFS podcast previewing the Byron Nelson Classic dropped on Monday. So go get all your goodies there. It's like 40 minutes long. They cover the whole field and all the DK picks you're going to need there. Other than that, hit me up on Twitter. Follow my written content at rotoballer.com and the RotoBaller YouTube channel for all your other good stuff. But I'll be back with you guys on Wednesday. For now, MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, May 11th edition in the books. I'm out.